Hi Ev, I hope you're doing alright. This is my video analysis, so I'm going to take a little bit longer to go through a few things because obviously um, I'm going to do things a little bit different to show you how I'm doing it. Whereas if it was an actual prospect, I would refrain from saying certain things. But usually, shoot a video like this, it takes about 5 to 8 minutes and it just gives them a little bit more information. So I'll go through that procedure with you. But before we do that, um, yeah, I took a look at the discovery form you filled out, and I'll do the best I can. And I noticed that the website you wanted me to do a little bit of analysis for was about restaurants and food. Now, I generally stay away from that, and the reason is, well, I think that I can explain this best with an example. So, if I was to SEO for a taco place, and I wanted to help them sell more tacos, it wouldn't be a good investment for them because charge around a minimum of 750. So let's just say $800, and for $800 just to get people to the door, um, they don't make that much money from each customer. Maybe let's say for example $2 a customer. So for them to break even with this kind of investment, they'd have to bring in around 400 people to their restaurant, and the math doesn't work out. So it's not a really good investment for restaurants, but it is good for people who have high-paying clients like physiotherapists or surgeons and so on, or dentists. And so, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, and I'll jump right into it. All right, Ev. So this is what I usually do. As you can see, I have a couple of tabs open up there. I'm just going to go through each one of them more into detail as we go along. But yeah, the first tab is the website, and generally I bring it up and I kind of give a mini consultation of what I think they should change and what would help them make it more presentable or maybe help with the conversion. So with this website, I think it seems like it's kind of like a Yelp for um, cities in BC, or restaurants in BC rather. And so I'm just gonna treat it like how I treat any other website. And maybe if you were interested, I usually don't work with restaurants or food related websites, but there might be more that I can do to help. But I'm gonna need a little bit more information, so maybe we can talk after this. And so on to the next tab. This is the mobile friendly. And so being mobile friendly is actually very important in this day and age. And the reason why it's important is because um, there's been a huge shift in the market, and it's in a couple of years ago, not very many people use cell phones, and over the past few years, the amount of users of cell phone users have basically skyrocketed, and so a lot of people do their initial searches on cell phones first, and if they like what they see on their mobile device, then they move on to desktop. But yeah, mobile is usually the first encounter, and last time I checked, over 50% of people check their mobile check the mobile sites first before moving on to the websites. And so this I do highly recommend, and just because this is where it's shifting and everything's going down to mobile, and as the years go on and mobile is getting more and more popular and more standardized, um, I can just see that everyone will be using cell phones, and a lot less people will be starting to will be using laptops. But that's still a bit away. But I really see that shift go from laptops to cell phones, and so um, with new businesses, I always suggest them to focus on mobile first and desktop second, meaning the websites that they're designing has to look and function on the cell phone first, and that is the priority, and then desktops. And so I can definitely fix this for or help you guys figure this out. And I'll send you all these links as well. On my next tab, I got the Page Speed Insight, which is also a really big factor in the rankings for Google. And that's because in this day and age, everyone here is ADD, and patience is very thin these days. There was a statistic that a couple of years ago, I think when the internet kind of first came out, people would wait up to 14 seconds for a page to load before exiting or closing the screen. But recent study, 2015 or 2014, the amount of time they waited before a screen would fully load would be 2 seconds, which is so much shorter than the 14 seconds from before. But they would wait 2 seconds, and if it didn't load, they would exit and they would never go back to that website. So this is very important, and it's easy to implement. You just need to know a little bit of code, and this basically tells you how to fix it. And so they've got a whole bunch of different rules, and this is a tool that Google made just to help people with their websites. So you just need a little bit of code, and if you don't know it, get the person who designed the website to go through it. And so after these two things, I also have an on-page SEO, but I think that's suffice for now. And this is the tool that I actually use to really dig in and find out what is required of me and how much time, energy, resources it will cost, how difficult it basically is for me. And so there's 3 metrics here. There's 3 companies with different metrics, and I'll go through each one of them with you. And so SERP.net is relatively new. They have their own kind of algorithm to figure out how powerful or how important a website is. And so their scoring is based out of 100, and it just basically takes the average of all the different metrics. Now Moz is another company, and their metrics is MozRank and domain authority. So domain authority is basically the power of the root domain, which if we look here, the root domain is BC Restaurants. And if we were to say click Vancouver here, this whole part here would be the Moz rank. So each different page has their own Moz rank, and Google uses both the Moz rank and the domain authority to figure out how important the website is. Now the next one is Majestic SEO. They're a company that focuses on the links that are coming into your website. So the 2 metrics here are the trust flow and citation flow. Trust flow is basically the quality of the links coming to your site, and citation flow is the amount of links coming to your site. This is important because in the past, Google was more lenient for spammy websites, but now with the new updates to algorithms, they really want to improve the user experience, especially for the people who are using them. So with this, you really want the trust ratio to be at a 1-to-1 ratio. The higher the trust ratio, the better. The trust ratio, for example, if the trust flow was, for example, a 6 and the citation flow was a 30, that would just mean that the links that are coming into the website are really spammy, and so that has a higher chance for Google to basically spank them and de-index them. And so I can go through here and take a look through all the different backlinks, and actually when I was taking a quick look, I noticed that it was actually spammed quite a bit, and it's because all the links that are going towards the site most of them are about Coach, Outlet, and handbags, when the website really is about restaurants and BC restaurants. And so this would have a huge spam to it, and so this would require a little more SEO to fix. And so this is just me digging in and trying to explain it to you. Now the next one is where it ranks, and I did a really quick search, only 20 different places where this website ranks. And what I would use this tool for is to figure out what keywords the site currently ranks for, which one has the most potential, and so I would be able to narrow down and focus on keywords that would make the most impact on the website. So for example, this one is position 3 for Coco Japanese Restaurant Vancouver, but it only has 10 searches a month. And so I could rank that first, but it wouldn't have the biggest impact. Now this one down here is Sake Maki. It has 480 searches a month, and it's at a position 5. So focusing on this keyword will make a bigger difference. And so that's what I would do. And last but not least, I would do some extra keyword research, and this keyword tool lets me figure out how many people are searching, the competition, and different metrics of the competition. And so this was what allows me to figure out exactly how hard it is. And so I use all these tools to figure out the difficulty, and with that I come up with the price. And so the next slide is the keywords that I think we should go for, because the keywords that I choose will have the biggest impact. And so I list them down here, and I just give an arbitrary number, say 70 people search up BC restaurants, and then 160 search up a different term, and so on and so on, and they add up to, for example, 600. Well, the next slide is basically all the math and kind of like number crunching, because well, you're just playing with numbers at this point. We know there's 600 people that are gonna go to the site or that are searching the term rather, and we know that the click-through rate for number 1 positions is 35%. So 35% of 600 people would click through on the number 1 spot of Google, and then it goes down after that, almost halving each time. And so if 600 people land on the site, and we use a conservative number like 20% of them actually click through for the people who searched it, well, let's say that 20% of that 20% actually buy, then that's 24 people who have converted into actual users. And so that's basically what I do to convince them, and after that try and schedule a phone call meeting with them, and I take it from there basically. And so if you have any questions, feel free to contact me or reach out to me, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if there's anything that was unclear, just ask me. So hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.